Dylan from the Pop Culturist here. I'm with Chris from Pop Games, here to talk about Primal Carnage Onslaught.
So Primal Carnage Onslaught is our first foray into VR. We kind of wanted to make something that would be fast-paced, that would be action-packed with a really tight game loop. Basically, at this point in VR, a lot of the time when people are like showing stuff off, they're really kind of getting their friends into it. So we tried to make a game that would have like a 5 to 10 minutes game loop on different environments, different guns, different weapons, but the kind of thing that you could throw on and kick over to your friend and they could try out and kind of get them into VR. Do you know what I mean? Like that first kind of baby steps.
So kind of like quick, short bursts, competition between friends, and it is a game where it's kind of like you've got the waves coming through, don't you? It's trying to outlast each other, beat each other's score.
Yep.
So where did the initial idea come from to have Dinosaurs involved? I know that you had a previous game as well. Tell us a bit about that.
Oh, look, so the previous game that we did was Primal Carnage Extinction, which is a human versus dinosaur multiplayer game. We've worked on both of these with Circle 5 Studios, although the development of this one has been exclusively Pub Games with Circle 5 kind of just giving a bit of oversight.
Okay.
So what we kind of did with this one was we leveraged off of some of the stuff that we had, because when it came to VR, we wanted to put our toe in the water and we wanted to see what it was like and try things out, but we didn't want to bog ourselves down with like a year and a half of development for art assets to put into the game.
Yeah.
So we decided to kind of leverage off of what we had and just see if we could bring that experience into virtual reality. And it's worked out pretty well. I mean, there's something that's really satisfying about watching like a 6'6" grown man cower in fear as he's about to get eaten by a tyrannosaur. It's really great because you see them, they're all burly, and then they kind of hear that sound.
Timing.
That sound. And it's pretty great.
So, was it a pretty smooth transition going from the previous game to this game, but implementing VR?
So the previous game was done in Unreal Engine 3, this project's done in Unreal Engine 4. UE4 is amazing for this kind of work. We just kind of breezed straight into it and smashed it out. Because of how the game engine's structured, we can do a lot more of we can have our artists kind of engage in the project a lot more than they typically would on a programming level. So whenever someone has a good idea, like, hey, what happens if a hand grenade goes into the T-Rex's mouth? Or, hey, what happens if someone tries to bite the pin out of the hand grenade? Or, hey, remember that scene in Terminator 2 where he was like cocking the shotgun like one-handed? Basically, whenever an idea like that floats up, we can just put it in the game. You know, anyone can kind of jump in and get hands-on. Unreal doesn't require native like C++ kind of work, so we're able to get some really good stuff happening from just conceptual levels.
The thing that I found when playing this game yesterday is it's the little things that are mind-blowing, like the ability to pick up the smaller dinosaurs, hold them, shoot them.
Yeah, case in point. I mean, we're kind of like kicking around the office. I'm like, you know, these little guys are they're a real pain, but it'd be hilarious if we could just pick them up when we didn't have ammo yet.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "Oh, you sure?" And I'm like, let's see what happens, And the first time we did it, the first tester comes in and she was playing it. The little dude jumps up and she went to grab a gun and missed and grabbed the compy by accident. So she's looking at it and she's like, ah, while the compy's like screaming back at her. And it was just this like super satisfying moment, because then she like throws it across the room, reloads her gun, and she's just like shooting away. And it was fun. It was fun.
And that's the other thing as well. There's more than just the dynamic of kind of shooting as well. You can pick up items, you can throw the canisters, blow them up.
Yeah, and look, we've got some other bells and whistles coming in that I'm not going to talk about just yet.
Yeah.
But we'll be going into early access in about a month. We're going to access in about a month. I can't put a firm date on it just yet. But when we do, we should be having Vive support and Oculus support, and we're investigating other things as well.
What are your plans going ahead? Where do you hope to take this game?
Look, so in-house, it works already on like the Vive as demonstrated, and it works on the Oculus Touch. We're looking into other things, but there's nothing we can really talk about firmly just yet.
But excited for the future?
Yeah, definitely.